Black Lives Matter in the perspective of me, Oliver Scat, on my channel, Oliver Scat. So Black Lives Matter was founded in 2014 after the death of Michael Brown, who was an innocent young black man, who had basically stolen from a grocery or a gas station, whatever you want to call it. And this all happened in Ferguson, which is a part of St. Louis, which is like 50 miles away from my house. But it was founded by rich black people. Black Lives Matter, now, I know that rich black people give to certain charities, but the thing is, why don't they just put that money into circulation in these low-income communities where black people are really having the issues, instead of giving charities to things that do not pertain to black people, even though that's what they care about the most in this world? Black Lives Matter, in Ferguson, it was proven, man, it's domestic terrorism. I mean, whenever they started destroying mom and pop shops and breaking into cell phone stores so they could loot and steal and burn all this shit down, leaving people devastated who now don't have livelihoods because the insurance didn't cover all of it. But black people are they're the victims. Really, they're the victims. Now, I understand that black people, they have a beef with white people because of the antebellum South, and they went through the slave trade and they lived as slaves over 160 years ago, so none of those people are alive, none of those people's children are alive, none of those people's grandchildren are alive today. You know, that was so many generations back that, you know, you're just not going to run into the guy who says that his great-grandfather was a straight-up slave. And they want to hate white people even though 3% of white people in America even own slaves, which means that it is even more unlikely that you're going to find a white descendant of a slave owner. In America, my biggest issue is Black Lives Matter. Just the name of it, Black Lives Matter. It surely can't pertain to just black Americans. They're not African Americans. Be real with yourself. We don't go around saying that we're European Americans, okay? Asian. Why is there the Caucasian male, the cis white male? Then there's the African American, the Asian American, the Mexican American, who should honestly just be the Latino American, if anything. But we're not the European American. I don't understand that. To me, that feels like a form of racism. That's oppression. White people are being oppressed. I'll get in that in another video. But Black Lives Matter, doesn't black lives pertain to every black life on this planet? Seeing as how it seems like that should make the most sense, there's an ongoing slave trade right now in Saudi Arabia, between Saudi Arabia and Africa, where Africa rounds up their men, they castrate them, and then they sell them into slave trade into Saudi Arabia so they could be traded off to children as birthday gifts, and, you know, just slaves to work around the house. Now, why is this not an issue? Why is no one talking about this? Why are we so focused on the past of our country and overlooking the actual devastation going on in black communities across the world, instead of just in fucking cities where black people want to act like morons and challenge the law enforcement, lose every time, and then act like they're the victim? Okay, you don't challenge law enforcement. If a law officer pulls you over, whether you're walking or in a car, and he asks for information, just give it to him. Unless you're doing something wrong, you'll give it to him. Now, if you are a criminal, you're going to try to oppose him, you're going to try to fight him, you're going to try to beat the law, which never works, and that has been proven since the beginning of law. Don't do that. Take your focus on Black Lives Matter, okay, and apply it to black people worldwide. Make it an actual movement instead of some stupid little fucking meme thing that people have online, and these stories about all these unjust happenings with the police, even though they are completely justified. I mean, this girl who just died recently aimed a fucking shotgun at a cop. I don't know where you come from, but where I come from, cops they're trained to lethally wound you if you try to lethally wound them, and aiming a shotgun at somebody is trying to lethally wound them. Okay, so this is just a wild rant on BLM, black people in general, I guess. White people aren't innocent. I'm not going to say that we're innocent, you know. There are a lot of fucking shitheads out there who are white. Get over it. Welcome to real life. You know, this PC culture and this SJW culture, it's not going to last very long. If you look at the history of the world, it's never happened before, and it's happening right now, and adults hate it, and late teens to early 20s thrive on it because it's trying to give them some kind of sense of fucking security that they'd never had in their life because they spent most of their time fucking up. So BLM, focus on the active slave trade of black people in Saudi Arabia right now. That's happening right now. It happened yesterday. It's going to happen tomorrow. It's going to happen probably the next 1,000 years. Focus on ending that. Combat that racism and don't worry about some stupid word or some stupid instance that happened. I mean, when you look at history as a whole, black people being slaves is a blip on it. It's not even noticeable unless you look for it. And then whenever you look for it and you dive yourself into that one particular part of our country, of course you're just going to be filled with hate, resentment. You're going to want appropriation for what the white man has, even though most people, white people, don't have shit. So BLM, please focus on the active slave trade going on right now in Saudi Arabia. Otherwise, BLM doesn't really stand for anything. It's just bitching, lies, and morons. That's all I ever scat.